Okay, I'll be going crazy here for next hour because Michigan Texas game is on, and Texas just went ahead, but Michigan's getting ready to score. But anyways, Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. We're down to 6 hours, 6 hours and counting under 2025, our last show of 2025. I'm going to try to get the link to come and share the link, but I can't figure it out. A link to the clipboard. Darn it. Texas defense. Steve Sarkisian's made a change going into next season. Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive left around for the season. Will Muschamp, the well-traveled former Texas and LSU defensive coordinator, former head coach. How do you share the link? God darn it. Just under 3 minutes to go. And a pivotal 3rd and 17 coming up. I'll try it, but 2026 has the Red Wings hosting the Penguins. Coverage begins at noon. That's also available on the ESPN app. Still got my Steve Eisenman jersey in the closet here somewhere. Somewhere kicking around. Ah. Big Atlanta Thrashers fan, and when they left him with their Chico. Dang it. Chico. Hang on, I gotta get the window open. Come on, get up the window. Come on. I got the copy. Darn it. Shoot, now I got an echo. Really the first big mistake that we've seen from Bryce Underwood. Didn't see the underneath defender. When he throws that ball, it was an easy, fairly easy break on the ball by Wardell Mack. Is that Prince Chedworth's? Is that Prince Chedworth's sword? It was a joust earlier. Hey,
Okay, can you get to my settings? You should be able to get to my dashboard. Hang on a second. Ah, I can't believe I can't figure this out. We still got time before the show starts. I got 9 minutes till 6, so I'm gonna wait till we get everybody in here. Start on time. I'm trying to work on getting the hang on. Darn it. I'm gonna leave this running. I'm gonna see if I can log into StreamYard. Oh, they won't let me. Dang it. Oh. There, Dave. I got my game on with Texas, Michigan. I'm trying to darn it. I'll mess it with it. One more minute here. So we got the last show of 2025 and gets the gold star is Ann. She gets the gold star. Tim got second. Mike, Lucy, JJ made it in. Fine Eagle. Hopefully everybody else will be coming in here. Not wearing my hat, but Auntie, I still got your sign. Oh boy. I can't believe I don't know how to share screen on YouTube. Man. I wanted to bring people up. Oh, darn it. I don't know if you guys want me to go to StreamYard or just stay here and just have everybody chat, talk and chat and say stuff and everything. I wish I could bring people up. I wanted to bring people up on the panel, but uh, uh, darn it. Well, I guess we'll just chat, I guess, but want to thank everybody that's been with me since the beginning, working on 6 years. And thanks for all the support, the sponsors, all the donations and gifts that everybody sent to me, and appreciate it all. And I got Cash App and I got P.O. Box. The P.O. Box, I think Kay has in the link there. I don't know. You want to come up and say something? Come on. Get up here and say hi to everybody. Come on. No. But, come on. Get up here. No. But, yeah, this has been one heck of a journey that we all hung in there. Come on. Get up here. All right, I got Chico up here. Now you say something to everybody. Come on. You say something to everybody. Say Happy New Year and thank you for everything. Yeah. Yeah. Who's that? Who was that right there? Huh? And Judy dude. There's your brother, buddy. That's your brother. Huh? Yep. He started it and you're gonna finish it. Yep, you're gonna finish it. I guess I'll do a prayer. So before we start, leaving God here saying thank you for surviving so far every day for 54 years. And just please God, make sure everybody's healthy and can get through the movie that we're watching and all the people that we lost, especially, my family, my mom and dad, and to Nurse 22's Ashley and Kay's husband Charlie, and it's been a rough 5 years. I just hope, like what they're saying, that best is yet to come. Trying to stay strong, making sure to come on every day to keep everybody staying together on this channel with all the people that from the beginning, and I welcome the new names that came in. Well, appreciate all the support with all the new people. And we lost Shift Kicker, we lost Lee, we lost one of our big Patriot, Bay. So we're gonna finish it. I'm staying on as long as I get people to come. I'm staying on. Let's hope 2026 will bring enjoyment to everybody and be happy. So thank you for the life so far, and God bless our USA and military, our president, first lady, and all the service people, and see what 2026 brings. Hopefully something exciting will happen in January. In your son's name, amen. I'll do my best at praying. You guys remember how I first started? Monty got me started on praying. I still remember that. Monty telling me to pray, do the prayers. Right, Chico? Huh? Oh, now you're going to get down? Hmm? You going to get down? What? Go chew on your bones. You got bones to chew on. Okay, let's finish off the last show of 2025 from Chico and Dude. So yeah, Kay sent me a couple of clips. Still no Billy Bean out today. That's surprising. I don't see Carol. Carol, you listening? Mike. Okay, we will play Kay's clip first. What do you want, buddy? Huh? There's nothing there, bud. Okay, we will go ahead and get started. Wait.
Just dropped a bombshell on X. Listen to this.
Hello, I'm HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. I'm here with Assistant Secretary Alex Adams. Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children. Yesterday, I spoke directly with the director of the Minnesota Child Care Services Office. She could not tell me with confidence whether those allegations of fraud are isolated or whether there's fraud stretching statewide.
Today, we have taken 3 direct actions against the blatant fraud that seems to be rampant in Minnesota. First, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment. Second, I've just signed and sent a demand letter to Governor Walz. I required a full 360 review of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections.
And third, we've launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. Whether you're a parent, a provider, a member of the public, we want to hear from you. Let me be crystal clear. ACF expects every state to uphold the highest standards of oversight, monitoring, and accountability for federal dollars. Minnesota is no exception.
We're committed to holding bad actors accountable. Regardless of rank or office, anyone who's involved in perpetrating this fraud against the American people should expect to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Well, it appears this is being taken very seriously because they just froze all child care payments to the entire state of Minnesota. They've also launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. And I suspect they're getting ready to receive a barrage of emails.
I'll replay that one again.
Oh, the Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services of the United States, Jim O'Neill, just dropped a bombshell on X. Listen to this.
Hello, I'm HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. I'm here with Assistant Secretary Alex Adams. Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children. Yesterday, I spoke directly with the director of the Minnesota Child Care Services Office. She could not tell me with confidence whether those allegations of fraud are isolated or whether there's fraud stretching statewide.
Today, we have taken 3 direct actions against the blatant fraud that seems to be rampant in Minnesota. First, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment. Second, I've just signed and sent a demand letter to Governor Walz. I required a full 360 review of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections.
And third, we've launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. Whether you're a parent, a provider, a member of the public, we want to hear from you. Let me be crystal clear. ACF expects every state to uphold the highest standards of oversight, monitoring, and accountability for federal dollars. Minnesota is no exception.
We're committed to holding bad actors accountable. Regardless of rank or office, anyone who's involved in perpetrating this fraud against the American people should expect to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Well, it appears this is being taken very seriously because they just froze all child care payments to the entire state of Minnesota. They've also launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. And I suspect they're getting ready to receive a barrage of emails.
Okay, that was an important one there.
Ball Earth pilots, I have a challenge for you.
2 minutes.
I want you to go, and this is going to be a night flight because you're going to fix your airplane on the stars. You can plot your course, the stars that you're going to pick that keep you on a straight line. Okay, so you're going to stay fixed in inertial space. And the non-inertial rotating Earth will rotate out from under you. Okay, so you're going to fly from the North Pole to the equator. So what you're going to have to show is the ground rotating out from under the airplane at ever-increasing speeds as you head for the equator, and you're locked in on that background star. You would see the ground rotating out from under you, and it would rotate up to 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. You got to show that. And you got to show that you are hit with ever-increasing rotating atmosphere, which, of course, is going to manifest itself as wind. It's going to be increasing from 0 up to 1,000 mile per hour crosswind at the equator by the time you get to the equator. Of course, this is fantasy. This is going to prove right here that your spinning ball is a fake. It's fraud. We're not spinning. There are other things that prove this, but this will definitely, I challenge you, Wolfie, Bob the Science Guy, and any other practitioner of this spinning ball Earth religion to get your airplane, go to the North Pole, fix your path on the stars, take off, fly as low as you can so that you are in the maximum densest atmosphere, and fly. And what you're going to find is that this is a complete fraud. You know it. I know it. We all know it. You are not going to hit any increasing wind shear side wind going up to 1,000 mile per hour rotating atmosphere. Not going to happen. It's a fraud. The Earth is flat and motionless, and we're done.
What do you guys think of that one?
Is the island of St. Bartholomew. And all of those purple little triangles are billionaires and their associated super yachts. This photo was taken today because all of these billionaires and their super yachts have decided to converge on St. Bartholomew Island for New Year's. You see, every year around New Year's Eve, the world's elite class, the billionaires and their pet celebrities and pet politicians, gather here, specifically at the Eden Rock Hotel, for a super yacht festival. For reference, this is where the Eden Rock Hotel is, if you're in the area. Also feels important to point out that this is where St. Bartholomew is, and this is Jeffrey's Island. And this year's guest list is stacked. We've got that evil bald man, Jeff Bezos, Miriam Adelson, that Israeli lady, or American lady. I don't know. Her allegiance kind of depends on the day. And then a bunch of other folks. Also, notably, Dr. Phil is there. I saw he was on the list this year as well. This next figure just drives me a little bit insane, so I have to tell you. But over the next few days, over 80% of all of the wealth on Earth will congregate on St. Bartholomew. Last year, 173 people attended the New Year's Eve celebration at the Eden Rock Hotel, which is located right there. And we are literally looking at most of all of the wealth on Earth right there. Just thought that was...
Well, that was two ending ones. That's true, okay.
no. Oh no.
This one's 10 minutes.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh! Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. So New Year's is supposed to be all about fresh starts, big plans, and this is going to be my year energy. But the internet said, absolutely not. From countdowns that go horribly wrong, to party plans spiraling into chaos, to people realizing way too late that fireworks and alcohol just simply don't mix. These New Year's Eve fails are proof that the year can end just as messy as it started out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What?
Estamos letamos, baby. We're good, baby. That was too easy.
When we come back,
Oh, 2024 is never going to come back, buddy. We're in the new year.
it's gonna come.
No, it's not going to come back.
Never,
Never.
never.
No, honey.
Not even when I'm dead.
Nobody. No.
Is it gonna go back?
No, honey. It's 2025. It's going to be a great year.
Oh, this sweet kid. So the caption says this poor kid was so upset. He woke up at 12:05 confused. Oh, he was probably just so tired and delirious. Poor baby.
4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Pull it. Pull the string out, girl. Pull it. Pull the string.
Well,
Oh, no. No, 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 no. Don't do it. No. Oh, my God. Seriously? Timing impeccable.
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Why did you just do that? I didn't know your mouth was going.
Oh, the look of instant regret on that kid's face. Oh, I bet he's glad he already got his Christmas presents. Ouch.
Began to pass out. Then my head hit the wall.
She fell so gracefully.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh no. Oh!
I knew it.
Oh no.
With Google Play Games, you can play Unlocked. Unlock your game here and here with one purchase. Sync your.
How can I help you?
what do we do, Chase? How you doing?
Good.
It's tone low.
You at the wrong door.
No, I'm not. I'm at 2208.
Who you supposed to be coming to see?
Oh man, don't worry about it.
Creepy. Oh my God, on New Year's Eve, like you're sitting there and then some guy is just like at your door, clearly intoxicated. That's how horror movies start. I don't like it. No, that's not a good way to bring in the new year. Time to cut off the drinks. Time to cut them off.
Okay, I'm good.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, fuck!
That was the most anticlimactic bottle pop that I've ever seen. Just, oh no, and then he just throws the cork. Funny. Oh, that poor girl. Like, oh no, that poor girl. Oh no, I can't stop watching. I can't stop watching.
Hey, head down. Thank you. You also. Have you heard from Gigs at all? I heard what happened to Ship Kicker. That was sad.
Really excited? Really excited? Nine.
I was born ready.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh no.
That was enough.
Oh no. Don't disappoint the kid.
Got about 3 minutes on
Oh
this
no.
All ready?
Yay! Mom made it happen.
My brother fell into Sydney Harbour on New Year's Eve.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Oh boy.
They fell on a glass. Is she okay? I assume she's okay. She's laying there laughing. Time to cut off the champagne. Time to cut it off.
You're ahead, Kay, now. About 6 minutes left.
I don't know.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh.
New Year countdown gone wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
What happened?
We just lost power.
Power just went out.
All right.
Hold on.
Oh no.
New Year countdown.
Oh no, the heater tripped the circuit breaker. Oh, they didn't get to see the ball drop. How depressing.
Name everything.
Oh boy. Oh boy. She's been shaking up the bottle.
Open this. My light. Okay, we're back.
Oh, there we go.
I had to quickly go clean that before my mom comes. I'm at my parents' house, and I'm not trying to get thrown out.
It's not over.
She looks like she's having a good time. And that is exactly why New Year's Eve is the most overly confident holiday of the entire year. Everyone swears that this party is going to be the best New Year's Eve party that they've ever had. And then the floor gets slippery, fireworks misfire, and there's somebody crying at 12:01. This video made you laugh, cringe, or make you feel better about your own celebration. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button.
Okay, that's a short one today. She had.
There is a line in the Declaration of Independence that was not written for history books. It was written for moments like this. Quote, when any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, end quote. This was not a suggestion. It was a safeguard.
Under 2 minutes.
Not an invitation to chaos, not a license for violence, not the language of mobs. It is the language of legitimacy returning to its source. The founders understood something timeless. Systems drift, power consolidates, and institutions forget who they serve. So they placed ultimate authority where it could never be erased, with the people. Not through impulse, not through destruction, but through law, consent, moral authority, and restraint. Because correction is not rebellion. It is restoration. The Declaration does not authorize disorder. It demands discipline. My friends, we are all anonymous. And this line, it is written, not as a threat, but as a reminder. Power is borrowed. Authority is conditional. And sovereignty always resides with the people.
Okay, that was a short clip. About 4 minutes on this one.
Casinos will soon be closing as well. San Manuel Casino, that's in San Bernardino County, will be the first to close tomorrow at 5. Then on Monday, Pachanga Casino near Temecula will also close its doors. Tribal leaders say that
$326 million. That's how much money vanished from California's budget in a single year. Not from a tax cut, not from a spending program, from casino closures. Governor Gavin Newsom stood in front of cameras in Sacramento last month looking genuinely rattled. The question was simple. What's your plan for the communities that are about to lose their primary economic engine? His answer? A whole lot of nothing wrapped in political speak about economic resilience and diversification. Behind closed doors, it's worse than anyone's admitting publicly. Sources inside the California Gambling Control Commission say the number of tribal casinos facing serious financial distress has tripled in the last 18 months. Small card rooms are shutting down at a rate not seen since the Great Recession. And the big-name casinos? They're quietly cutting staff, reducing hours, and preparing for a future that looks nothing like the last 20 years. California has more casinos than any other state, over 70 tribal gaming facilities, hundreds of card rooms scattered from San Diego to the Oregon border. This isn't Oklahoma or Connecticut where a couple of big casinos dominate. This is a massive, sprawling industry that employs over 250,000 people and generates billions in tax revenue, tribal payments, and economic activity. And it's collapsing fast. Let me show you what's really happening, because this isn't just about gambling. This is about entire communities built on a foundation that's crumbling underneath them, and a state government that has no idea how to stop it. Start with the obvious question. Why are California casinos closing? The answer everyone wants to give you is online gambling. And yeah, that's part of it, but it's not the whole story. Not even close. California banned online sports betting twice. In November 2022, voters rejected Proposition 26 and Proposition 27 by massive margins. Prop 26 would have allowed in-person sports betting at tribal casinos and racetracks. Prop 27 would have legalized online sports betting statewide. Both failed. The campaigns were brutal. FanDuel and DraftKings poured over $400 million into promoting Prop 27. The tribal casino spent over $250 million fighting it. In the end, California voters said no to both options, and the state remains one of the few major markets where you can't legally bet on sports. So if online sports betting isn't legal, why are casinos struggling? Because Californians are betting anyway. They're just doing it illegally through offshore sites or driving to Nevada. And more importantly, the entire gambling landscape has shifted in ways that California casinos can't compete with. Let's talk numbers. In 2010, California's tribal casinos generated roughly $8 billion in gross gambling revenue. By 2019, that number had climbed to $9.2 billion. Not explosive growth, but steady. The industry felt solid. Then 2020 hit. Casinos shut down for months. When they reopened, capacity restrictions killed profitability. Many facilities operated at a loss just to keep staff employed and doors open. By 2021, revenue started climbing back. 2022 saw a decent recovery, but 2023 and 2024 told a different story. Revenue growth stalled. Several major casinos reported declining slot machine income. Table game revenue stayed flat. The most telling number, the average visit frequency dropped. People were coming to casinos less often. Why? A few reasons. First, inflation ate into disposable income. When gas hits $5 per gallon and groceries cost 30% more than they did 4 years ago, people cut back on entertainment spending. Casinos are the first thing to go. Second, California has some of the highest living costs in the nation. The median home price in California is over $700,000. Rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in San Diego or the Bay Area runs over $3,000 a month. People living paycheck to paycheck don't have gambling money. Third, and this is the part nobody in the industry wants to admit, casinos in California are getting old. Many tribal casinos were built in the late 90s and early 2000s. They haven't been updated. The decor is dated. The slot machines are older models. The restaurants and entertainment options feel stuck in a different era. Younger customers walk in and immediately feel like they're in their grandparents' hangout. Compare that to Las Vegas, which constantly renovates and reinvents.
A backcountry casino has abruptly...
Casinos out of California. Hey, we got Doug video coming up.
To Doug in Exile. This is where the Happy Patriots are. At the very end of this video,
minute.
it's going to be great. We're going to go into all this Minnesota fraud, but for the first time, I'm going to articulate and read to you how step by step the election integrity stuff, the proof that I've looked for that does not involve a conspiracy at all will be articulated at the end of this.
All right, Kay, your quarterback just ran almost like 60 yards, Manning. So it looks like you're going to beat us.
Video, so stick around and watch, and you'll learn along with me that the fraud in Minnesota, it's not just Somalis on child daycare centers. It goes into election integrity, packing ballots, fake ballots, no voter ID. It would affect the election in 2020, definitely, easily, and we have some proof that it affected the election in 2024. First, here's Jessica Tarloff being wrong.
Nick Shirley's reporting there's no way that this kid walking around uncovered $100 million worth of fraud on his own.
There's no way he did it on his own. Now, we know that Nick Shirley isn't the first to expose the fraud. Pam Bondi's made almost 100 arrests. I'll go into those too already. This is before Nick Shirley broke the story. Many other journalists, many other politicians, as far back as what I found was from 2018, have talked about this before. But Nick Shirley put it on steroids and got it on X and got Elon Musk to retweet it. That's why it's one thing to have the truth, but you also have to use social media to expand things. That's why, number one, I want to get the truth right so that if a video ever does go viral, I'm spreading the truth instead of a bunch of lies. Here's Nick Shirley's latest today with Tim Walz and his fraudsters have taken down the child care licensing webpage. for the government. Now, my audience, I'll just ask you, let me know in the chat below, why? Why do you think a Democrat like Tim Walz would want to take down the child care licensing page? Nick Shirley writes, and he's 20. This is a 23-year-old Mormon kid just beating the living daylights out of all the fraud and the mainstream media. He goes, Tim Walz, what do you have to hide? And here's the page. Paging Tim Walz, why is the child care licensing page down? What are you hiding? You know, one thing is we got all the addresses to all these fraud daycare centers. That's one thing. Man, this corruption is really bad. Here's the Department of Justice. This is defending Pam Bondi in a way. The DOJ says we have charged 98 individuals in relation to fraud in Minnesota. More than 60 have already pled guilty or been convicted. More to come. This is kind of a pushback where people go, oh, this boy, you know, he outdid Pam Bondi. I mean, I don't want to at all reduce Nick Shirley's work, but his main work is in the marketing. And that's where I think the Trump administration has the biggest problem, is in marketing. Not that they're not doing the work, but they're not talking about it enough. And talking about Epstein was a huge distraction. Here's Attorney General Pam Bondi on Minnesota fraud. Nick Shirley's work has helped show Americans the scale of fraud in Tim Walz's Minnesota. The Justice Department has been investigating these for months. So far, we've charged 98 individuals, 85 of Somali descent. More than 60 have been found guilty in court. We have more prosecutions coming. Buckle up, lawmakers. Just so you guys that go like, there's no arrests, Pam Bondi, nothing. They've already arrested people before the Nick Shirley story broke. So that's a lie. And I've been going over how difficult her job is. Almost 100 arrests, and 60 of them pled guilty. So that means they're going to be prosecuted. Okay? Here's Han Shahnedy. Many of you are wondering why fiscally responsible Thomas Massie hasn't commented on the Somali daycare story. Now, this makes sense. If Thomas Massie is a principled, fiscally conservative, I'm the only real Republican, I'm the only real libertarian, small government, limited government, no government fraud, why is he silent? Minnesota and the Somali corruption, arguably the biggest taxpayer fraud scandal in decades, if not in all of history in America. There's actually a very simple reason, he says. He couldn't find a way to connect it to AIPAC and Israel yet. I love it. He's working on it, though. Rest assured. There you go. Who's paying him to stay quiet? Someone has him on lockdown. If it isn't AIPAC or Israel, he will soon find that Trump and Epstein did it with his support, with Trump's support from the Mossad.
Do you need $300, $500, or even $1,000 fast?
True. This is making fun of his conspiracy nutters, which I think is fully appropriate. Now, as promised, I said we would go into the step-by-step way that voter fraud happens. So this is John Lefebvre, who says this is how it's happening, of course, across the United States in blue districts. It specifically tries to use the poor. We're going to learn a lot. Notice this does not require a conspiracy of the machines. This doesn't involve the machines at all. Venezuela or anything else, which I'm not opposed to. I'm only saying you don't have to go out into outer space to prove election fraud. It might include George Soros funding or Act Blue funding, but this looks like this is normal Democrat material in a group chat with a bunch of smart, successful liberals who still don't understand how elections get stolen. So I want to share. In simple terms, this is what happens. 1, fill up the voter rolls with as many names as possible, including illegals, dead people, and residents who left the state. This also explains why Democrats don't want to turn their voter rolls over to Harmy Dillon for review, which they're legally demanded to do federally. 2, legislate for unsolicited ballots to be automatically mailed out, like a motor voter thing. Pay people per ballot to collect, fill out, sign, and send back or dump these ballots into drop boxes. Notice he doesn't say that they have to lie or cheat. That's not the system. The system is just, we don't ask, we don't tell. Fill them out and we'll pay you to get them back to us. And that's it. That's it. None of this was illegal, by the way, in 2020. And not much reform has happened since. In fact, none of this has been illegal. I believe this has been happening in Arizona forever. Here's how it works. Take a random low-income apartment building in Pennsylvania or Georgia with 100 units. Now, I remember Steven Crowder exposing this also. I don't know if it was Iowa or Idaho, might have been Nevada, where hundreds of, mail-in voter things are targeting low-income units. This is a demographic that doesn't vote and rarely checks their mail. Unsolicited ballots will be automatically sent to every single tenant or resident registered to that building, going back a decade or longer. So a 100-unit apartment building could receive 5 times as many ballots, most of which litter the mailroom floor. Activist groups like Arabella recruit low-income residents to collect all of the ballots and pay them for every completed ballot without oversight or accountability. So you can just count on basically your average voter being corrupt, your average American just wanting money, and they put 2 and 2 together without any top-down instruction. They don't have to be taught to do fraud. They just need to have the opportunity to do fraud, and then they'll naturally do it. More Democrats than Republicans. So these recruits can either laboriously track down the intended recipients and encourage them to vote legally, or they can collect as many blank ballots as possible and fill them all out themselves. And illegals could do this. And by the way, someone who gets into your country illegally, they're already prone to break the law. So you've got a perfect sample case there. Knowing they'll make thousands of dollars and it's virtually impossible to get caught. These ballots end up in the mail or in a drop box. We saw this with the 1,000 Mules things of people packing multiple ballots into the drop box, where they will be counted alongside legitimate ballots, having never been verified or signature matched. This is where the Democrats, I know everyone's going to go like, Doug, we're not a democracy. But I'm only saying, just easy on that for a second. When the Democrats say that we're a democracy, they don't even believe it and they don't even support it because they believe in undermining even a democracy. They don't want one person, one vote. They want your vote canceled out by a non-citizen or a fake ballot. Not a fake ballot, but a fake person just randomly filled it out. It doesn't take a grand conspiracy. Thank you. That's what I've been trying to avoid for 5 years, is to give an explanation for votes without a grand conspiracy. Just normal vote fraud, not a secret, and yet untrackable with our current legal system. It is untrackable and unprovable because of the amount of blank ballots that get sent out. You don't know how many are real, and you don't have signature matching and voter ID. As the participant pawns are incentivized monetarily to cheat on their own accord. So no one has to know. The Democrat Party doesn't have to point to it or know. And there's no legal recourse. So it's not illegal, guys, as the big money organizers have plausible deniability because they don't need to instruct or bear witness to any of the cheating. That explains it all, guys. A non-conspiracy, normal way that through motor voter or whatever, they can send hundreds of ballots to apartment complexes. They're gathered up by some member who is incentivized to gather them up and return them to drop boxes. And that alone, and if you send them just to, say, poor income areas in apartment complexes in just blue cities like Los Angeles, Phoenix, here in Nashville or Memphis, you're automatically going to get the results that you want. And then here's what we're going to tie it back to Nick Shirley. This is Shiloh Marks. Minnesota processed 281,000 online voter registration forms, okay? 281,000. The online voter registration form has no proof of citizenship requirement in Minnesota, blue states. This is how the Democrat Party guys are overrepresented in the vote. They're probably 5 to 10% less popular than they're showing on the ballot. In other words, they'd never win an election. America's not overrun by Democrats. It's Democrats are overrepresented in the vote in the blue cities and in blue states. And they intend to keep it that way. It's that simple. So out of 281,000 votes, Kamala won 137,000 votes in Minnesota. So how do you get an imbecile like Kamala Harris voting and getting, half the votes in Minnesota, overrepresenting her? You simply send out mail-in ballots. Now, we need to keep sending back our legit mail-in ballots. I'm for mail-in ballots. I'm for them, but they need to be tied to a legit signature and a legit photo ID that proves citizenship. And so you can't have driver's license going out to non-citizens, which Gavin Newsom's passing, Minnesota's passed, and it invites this kind of corruption. But now you can see, guys, don't let your heart be broken over Kamala Harris getting almost 50% of the vote. Democrats are probably a good 10%, in truth, less popular than they appear to be at every ballot box in America. And that's the good news. I'm Doug in exile. Subscribe.
The year-end mattress sale is on now.
Okay, that was Doug there. Okay, I'm going to do a short one. I got a 10-minute one. Let's see what this one is.
System 1 loaded.
We are one. We are a legion. Break the system of corruption. Fight for your lives and others. Freedom. Justice. Liberty. Hope. Love. Truth. Among us.
It has become most evident that our original suspicions were correct about the origins and intentions behind the pandemic. And now we suddenly find ourselves completely consumed with protests and riots of the likes that we have never seen before, with what started out as an outcry of rage against police abuse and accountability, has now been hijacked by any group and even individuals that have some type of agenda, political or otherwise. We have been trying to warn people about the police state that we find ourselves in now for many years. In fact, we were a little concerned that it took so long to rise up against it. Nevertheless, you see, there is much more going on than what you are witnessing. The end game is very simple. A one world government with a one world currency. Globalists are using the Chinese Communist Party as a model, and the CCP is completely aware of this. What you are really witnessing is warfare on a level never before seen by mankind. The manipulation of politicians, information, colleges and corporations have been going on for several generations, with each generation being a little more subservient and accepting to changes that are being imposed by a globalist agenda. At the root of every world war, one can find an agenda to literally take over the world. This is no different, and the result of which may ultimately be the same. During this time, your resistance is imperative. In your daily lives, recognize the manipulation and stand up against it. Pay no value to those that would seek to control you with regulations and be brave about it. Many others feel the same way and just need that one person to stand up. Discuss what's going on with people around you, and you will find that the majority of them can see the manipulation as well. Do not get lost in the fog of distraction that mainstream media does such a good job at keeping people's minds occupied with. Pay attention to what is actually going on in your real daily lives. It all comes down to the individual and what we will put up with. Good luck.
That was interesting. I got clips from News Force. The guy, News Force had them. I want to play a few of them at a time. Oh, wait, let's play this one.
Representative for District 62. I'm here to tell you today that my constituents and the constituents of my caucus members have had enough. The tax-paying citizens of Maine have had enough of fraud, waste, and lies. The people of Maine understand that we have a fiscal responsibility to keep our roads fit for travel, to care for those who need our help. And we don't mind that that money comes out of our paychecks for those endeavors. What we do mind coming out of our paychecks is money being sent to people in non-governmental organizations that are defrauding us. They're defrauding us because they are not providing the services that they claim to provide. They are defrauding us because they are personally gaining wealth from our tax dollars without doing the work they claim to do. We know that Gateway Community Services was found to have over $800,000 in fraudulent billing. We know that the money from the Lewiston tragedy didn't go to families of survivors. And now, just like Minnesota and Ohio, whose fraud is numbering in the billions of dollars at this time, this $800,000 can only be the tip of the iceberg of what's really happening here in Maine. Our constituents are struggling to pay their electric bills. They wonder if they can even think of going on a family vacation this year. And look, now they have a new tax on streaming services, on simple paint for their house. Their budgets are pressed and they can't take any more. And they especially can't take money being continually wasted. It's time for a full-throated, hold back nothing investigation into these organizations and for all involved. The people of Maine are demanding accountability for the money that they send to Augusta every single day, and we are here to stand up for them.
Out of Maine there, update. Now we got Michigan.
COVID relief money meant to help families, small businesses, schools, and communities survive, and they never got it. 5 years later, we're still trying to figure out where huge chunks of it actually went. The state's Auditor General reported that millions were distributed with poor oversight. Some programs sent payments to ineligible recipients. Local governments had to beg the state for it. Lansing sat on money for months, and some school districts say they didn't see funds until after the crisis peaked. Meanwhile, the state spent massive amounts on contracts that weren't competitively bid, projects that had nothing to do with COVID, including infrastructure add-ons and administrative expansions. Small businesses found out that aid was basically a lottery system that handed out grants with little transparency. So how do you get billions in emergency cash and still leave communities hanging? That's pure Michigan. Follow for more of Michigan's enlightening truth. Michigan got more than $10 billion in federal COVID relief money meant to help families, small businesses, schools, and communities survive, and they never got it. 5 years later, we're still trying to figure out where huge chunks of it actually went. The state's Auditor General reported that millions were distributed with poor oversight. Some programs sent payments to ineligible recipients. Local governments had to beg the state for it. Lansing sat on money for months, and some school districts say they didn't see funds until after the crisis peaked. Meanwhile, the state spent massive amounts on contracts that weren't competitively bid, projects that had nothing to do with COVID, including infrastructure add-ons and administrative expansions. Small businesses found out that aid was basically a lottery system that handed out grants with little transparency. So how do you get billions in emergency cash and still leave communities hanging? That's pure Michigan. Follow for more of Michigan's enlightening truth. Michigan got more than $10 billion in federal COVID relief money meant to help families, small businesses, schools, and communities survive, and they never got it. 5 years later, we're still trying to figure out where huge chunks of it actually went. The state's auditor general reported that millions were distributed with poor oversight. Some programs sent payments to ineligible recipients. Local governments had to beg the state for it. Lansing sat on money for months, and some school districts say they didn't see funds until after the crisis peaked. Meanwhile, the state spent massive amounts on contracts that weren't competitively bid, projects that had nothing to do with COVID, including infrastructure add-ons and administrative expansions. Small businesses found out that aid was basically a lottery system that handed out grants with little transparency. So how do you get billions in emergency cash and still leave communities hanging? That's pure Michigan. Follow for more of Michigan's enlightening truth.
All right, Michigan update. 3 minutes on this guy.
That you were taught growing up, and it pretty much goes against the American dream. That makes it real easy for people to take a blind eye to it and act like it's not happening. But if we really want things to change, then we got to come to terms with the sad truth of it all. For example, the last few videos I've made have been about this place, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, also known as MIT. And there are coincidental links to certain projects. First up was MK Ultra and the mind control experiments. MIT, as well as Harvard, were a part of that. And then we talked about the Manhattan Project and the race for the atomic bomb, and how MIT played a substantial part in that whole project. Oh, and by the way, if you're separating MK and the Manhattan Project, you might want to think about that. In the MK experiments, they used radioactive isotopes inside the LSD to map out how it reacted to the body. Kind of like when MIT and Quaker Oats teamed up and fed kids radioactive oatmeal to see what the effects of it would be, which was research for the Manhattan Project. So if you ask me, MK and Manhattan are pretty much the same thing, just advanced versions of themselves. Which brings us to the last part. I don't know if you've noticed, but both of those projects seem to be about controlling and manipulating the body somehow. And MIT is known for something else in that department. Nanotechnology. They're one of the leaders in it. See, MIT says that the brain is like a computer and we can fix it through nanorobots. And in 2002, they started a certain program. It's a collaboration with the US Army. It's called the Institute for Soldier Nanotechnologies. But the Army isn't the only investor. Big names like DuPont, Raytheon, Partners Healthcare are all invested in this institution. Oh, since its creation in 2002, they've done little things like fibers that transmit data. They've pretty much gone silent. And I think we all know what that usually means. Oh, but before I go, I just want to point out, the reason we even got here was that weird link between Brown University and MIT. Well, you've seen MIT's link to all the different government agencies. Well, did you know that Brown refuses to talk about theirs and has since the 50s? Y'all stay safe.
Oh, that's a little better one. News Sports has 5. I'll play one more, and I got a 10-minute one. I'm going to go to 8 o'clock. Be 2 hours.
All of them. And we're the guinea pigs.
Minute and a half.
Until that happens, nothing's going to change. Check this out. Johns Hopkins University, Baltimore, Maryland. In the late 1940s, they did some irradiation testing there. And they were doing it to children. This was a federally funded experiment where these kids were exposed to radiation to gauge long-term hearing loss. Now, yes, back then this was considered common practice, but I wanted you to listen to what they were doing and see if it sounds familiar. The treatment was inserting metal rods tipped with radium into kids' noses. And what was the long-term result? A 62% spike in brain cancer in children. Now, this so-called treatment, did it sound familiar? Well, let me give you a hint with no context.
Yeah, I didn't want to go any further on that. Okay. Not sure if we played this one yet.
Feeling nostalgic about one Michael Brian Protzman. Because of what's happening with silver right now. It's like everything he told us is starting to happen. And it's making me think that all of us who were in Dallas, it's making me think that our stories and experiences are going to become relevant really soon. People are going to want to know how we knew. And we're going to have to tell them that story. The world, most of the world does not know who Michael Brian Protzman is yet. I'm not sure that those of us who know who he is even know who he is yet. I think we're all still a little confused. But whoever he is very, very special. Clearly is the most magnetic person I've ever been around in my life. We all learned so much from him. He was freaking brilliant. Not only was he a genius, but he was hilarious.
That's not important. I got a photo here I'm going to share.
Daycare should just be unlocked. You shouldn't be able to just walk into a
There should be a
daycare.
reception.
No, every daycare is locked.
Their doors are locked.
And so, okay, you bring up a fair point. Then but why can't they actually give me information how to enroll a child?
Federal law enforcement has been investigating fraud in Minnesota for several years. Both Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel said on social media they've indicted dozens of defendants. DHS has posted multiple videos of agents they say are conducting a massive fraud investigation.
Do you think that federal law enforcement hasn't done enough? I mean, they would say, look, these fraud cases have been going on, but they've already done like 80 indictments. The cases have been going on, for years.
And why did I show up one day in Minnesota and go to all these daycares, no children? They're receiving millions of dollars. We uncovered nearly $110 million in fraud in one day.
How do you know that all the allegations that you're making are true?
How do I know that they're true? Well, we showed you guys what was happening, and then you guys can go ahead and make your own analysis.
We're coming so we can make our own analysis. Are you 100% sure you're true?
Yeah, I am 100% sure I'm true.
CNN is looking into Shirley's claims.
Hi, my name's Whitney Wild. I'm a correspondent for CNN.
We reached out to several of the daycares featured in the now viral video. Only one daycare facility answered and said they are a legitimate business.
Have you seen the videos, purporting that some of these daycares don't have kids inside?
But surely you don't think a daycare should just be unlocked?
I don't understand. They don't want to know the truth. I can't believe that CNN. They don't want the truth.
himself is teetering on the edge of a full psychiatric collapse. This isn't just a meltdown. It's a sirens blaring, padded room is minutes away kind of spiral. What's pushing him over the edge? Bad ankles, red hats, and anyone who identifies as a Republican. Then over on MSNBC, Morning Joe just exploded into a fiery clash with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. The cracks in the Democrat Party are widening, and now they're tearing each other apart. Plus, President Trump dropped a bombshell. He fired Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. But guess what? Oh, she's refusing to quit. Grab your popcorn. Trump is living rent-free again, and the meltdown is next level. The media is having a full-blown panic attack because President Trump called in the National Guard to make Washington, D.C. safer. I mean, you'd think he'd order tanks into Whole Foods. MSNBC, they're lighting votive candles for democracy. The New York Times, they're running democracy's obituary. AOC, yeah, she's probably live streaming from her couch whispering about authoritarianism between sips of organic oat milk. And CNN, CNN has entered a whole new realm of crazy. Apparently, restoring order is now dangerous, and enforcing the law is now considered an act of war. Watch this.
I am telling you on the front lines what is happening. And there are militarized police force going and harassing longtime law-abiding citizens of Washington, D.C. And so when we, who are probably a little more familiar with American history, perhaps than you, look at the military turning the police force on its own people, we remember the examples like Tulsa, when law enforcement dropped bombs on its own community. We know what it is like to have
far
people.
from that, though.
We are not so far. We are not so far from that.
If you think Democrats have absolutely lost it, hit that like button for me, because she says we're not so far from Tulsa. Lady, we are like closer to Gotham City, and Trump just sent in Batman. But of course, they can't have Trump looking like a hero, even when he is the one saving the city. And when the crime data isn't on their side, these activists turned analysts just switch gears and claim the police themselves are the actual problem. Listen to how they twist themselves into knots trying to argue against their own network's reporting.
CNN's own reporting says crime is down 19% from the weeks before.
I didn't say that it wasn't down.
So is it working? Is it helping?
No,
I didn't say that
it
it
is
wasn't
not
down.
working.
I'm just
The
saying
cop- the police
the idea
saying-
that this has never
First of all,
happened
let me just tell you,
before
a
is
lot of
not
people
the
do not
case.
care what the police think or what the police unions think. They themselves are quite problematic.
Governor Tim Walz,
Okay, so our last long video of 2025 will be 33 minutes. It said this video needs to go viral, so let me know if it's good, and I'll continue all of it. So we'll see what this is about.
Video that you can use to help wake up other people around you. Now, I know there's a lot of people who are new to this channel because I've lost a lot of subscribers over the years, even though I'm a brand new YouTuber. So I even have to write down where I'm uploading so I can remember what my name even is this month, because that's how often I'm removed. And it's because of content like the content I'm about to show you. I break these things down. I show you very simply.
Everybody seen this one?
that these people are using witchcraft, spell casting, and all means of mind control on the masses. And you will not even believe some of the stuff I'm going to show you from the Sphere, which I covered yesterday. If you don't know about the Sphere, go watch that video after this about what it is, okay? And the frequencies they're using on people, because they're using more than just frequencies on everybody out there. They are using other means of mind control, which I'm going to show you right now. And I'll only leave this video up for a week, so make sure you watch it. I will have it up on the website, uprisingrevival.com, but make sure at the very least you sub to my other channels now, because I feel like this probably will get a strike based on the critique of harassment and bullying that they're putting out there now. I am the most...
I better not play it. He said that it'll get him a strike. So I'll find something else here.
is forming around, I need you to fully understand how crazy this scripting really is. Now, since the NFL was created, rigging and scripting has always been a part, but Tom Brady and the Patriots are a perfect example. Now, Tom Brady came at the perfect time. After 9/11, America needed a hero, maybe even an underdog story, so who better than Tom Brady on the Patriots? I mean, you honestly couldn't have scripted it any better. After 9/11, the star quarterback goes down, the underdog comes in, saves the day, the Patriots go on to win the Super Bowl, Congress enacts the Patriot Act, and all of a sudden there's a Patriots dynasty amongst the league. And it doesn't stop there. Katrina hits New Orleans in 2005. Construction doesn't finish until 2010. And can you guess who won the Super Bowl that year? And I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long, so let's skip to 2020 with a familiar face, Tom Brady. This is after COVID. Everybody's staying at home, so who better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl at home in Tampa Bay? It makes perfect sense, and you couldn't have scripted it any better. What about the Rams? Sean McVay with the Ukrainian wife? The Rams with the same exact colorway as the Ukrainian flag? And that reminds me, I think the Golden State Warriors won that same exact year with the same exact colors. Kind of like after the Boston bombing, the Boston Red Sox went on to win the World Series. It's not just the NFL. And I could go all day about this, but the one thing I want you to take from this video is the Kelsey brothers and their connection to Swift. This offseason, the Philadelphia Eagles signed DeAndre Swift, who's from the Philadelphia area, to team up with Jason Kelsey in that offensive line. Now, the past 2 weeks, Travis Kelsey's got his own Swift, Taylor Swift, and they cannot stop talking about that. And this entire video has been focused around how major events are planned with the Super Bowl. So I would find it extremely perfect if there was a rematch between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs this year, tied in with some type of global banking event, because SWIFT is actually an acronym for a system that allows countries to transfer money between banks. This cannot be a coincidence. This has to be foreshadowing by the NFL.
Okay, cheating for the NFL. I'm going to play Benny video here in a minute of his 2025, but I got a other one I want to play real quick. Under 5 minutes.
I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I ask you to keep your remarks brief. I got a lot to go through. As you know, I spent 23 years as a law enforcement officer in the state of Minnesota. You know that, right? Do you know that, yes or no?
I don't know.
Question. It's not a trick question.
I don't know.
I'll answer it for 23 years in Duluth.
Thank you for that.
So, Governor, do you recognize this picture?
I do recognize the picture.
Briefly describe it to us. What is it? What's going on?
These were folks, I believe the people in the picture now are incarcerated.
It's a precinct burning down because of your decision. Was this a peaceful protest? Was this a peaceful protest?
The gentleman standing there?
Was this a peaceful protest?
It was a criminal act that people were prosecuted for.
So it wasn't a peaceful protest, right? As I watched lawlessness devastate Los Angeles this past week, I was reminded of your failure to protect Minnesota from similar acts. Governor Walz, on May 29th of 2020, during your own press conference, you described your response to the riots during the 2020 Summer of Love as, quote, an abject failure. Governor, I couldn't agree with you more.
That's out of context.
And on May 17th, 2025, you were at the law school, graduating Minnesota Law School, talking to the graduates.
You too, Santa.
Called the enforcement.
Thanks for coming. We'll go to 8 o'clock.
A modern day Gestapo. You've been asked 3-4 times if you would rescind that, and you won't. Will you rescind it? This is like the 5th time. Yes or no?
Encourage my instructor to law students about due process. And I said, you took an oath to due process.
Governor, was there a violent Al-Shabaab terrorist who entered our country illegally arrested in Minneapolis last year? Yes, there was. Were there 3 illegal child predators arrested by ICE in St. Paul earlier this year?
I certainly hope so. That's their job.
Yes, there was. Are the officers who arrested the Al-Shabaab terrorists or the child predators, are they Nazis or the Gestapo?
The tactics of wearing
They're
masks.
not.
The tactics of wearing masks.
Why did you
Robert.
tell us that they were the Gestapo? Do you believe that any of the violent illegal immigrants I have mentioned have a right to be in this country.
I don't know what their immigration status was.
They're illegal, violent criminals that ICE took off the streets of Minneapolis.
You did not say, Congressman, what their status was.
Governor, last week, law enforcement officers in the state of Minnesota took 900 pounds off the streets. Do you support that?
We certainly do.
You know that ICE assisted in that arrest, those arrests and investigations. Do you support the assistance of ICE in that enforcement action? Yes or no?
I can't speak to that because we were not included in the briefing.
You don't know if ICE was part of it? I'm telling you they were.
I don't have that data. I would have to trust you.
Will you apologize to our constituents and law enforcement officers for making them and their families less safe with your incendiary actions?
I'll congratulate them that they helped us work on the largest pension bill for Minnesota law enforcement in 30 years.
Claiming my time. Governor, what weapons did you carry in war?
Congressman, for 24 years, I carried.
No. What weapons did you carry in war?
What did you carry?
What did... I tell you what, Governor, you're barking down the wrong tree, okay? You lied to the Minnesotans. You said that you carried weapons in war. That is a noble valor. You know what? My wife served 24 years in the military, and she's an Iraq war veteran. He was over in the war zone. That's noble valor, and I'm so disgusted with you. And so are the people that you serve with.
Point of order.
I'll
just a minute.
Stolen valor. You didn't carry weapons in war.
Congressman, my 24 years was public for many years. Objection.
You apologize for lying.
Objection.
Hold on, pause.
That's not questioning a witness. That's not questioning a witness.
Point of order. State your point, Mr. Rickman.
No, you're hectoring. You're hectoring.
Governor, you didn't carry weapons in war, did you?
State your point.
You didn't carry weapons in war.
24 seconds.
Did you?
Congressman, you know
didn't carry weapons in war, yes or no? You lied. Governor, what rank did you retire at? What rank did you retire at?
Congressman, I served my battalion as the command sergeant major.
That's not the question I asked. What rank did you retire at?
I retired as a master sergeant in
Okay, here's your coin that says you retired at a command sergeant major. That
says I wore that
coin.
It says I wore the rank.
That's right. You didn't retire, did you?
I did retire after 24 years.
Here is a picture of your coin, your challenge coin. I'm disgusted with you. I'm just.
Chairman, the challenge is fired. Congressman,
you called half Trump supporters Nazis and fascists, and you know what? That's why the Minnesota Police and Peace Association did not support you in the last election.
Well, I support that.
On behalf of the folks from the land of rocks and cows, thank you. There you go.
All right. I'm going to play Michigan Legacy. I can't remember I played this one. Oh. I'll get to the bidding one here in a minute. Shoot. What the heck? Yeah, I think this is it right here.
Because so many full guardianships are just simply not needed. Our clients call to report abuse, neglect, and financial exploitation by their guardians, and for assistance to terminate an unnecessary or overly restrictive guardianship order.
And then picture, as Scott set up here, a guardian ad litem or an adult protective service worker who's sitting down with you, both strangers, and in the process of talking to you, you think they're an advocate, but really they're writing a report on you that is going to be the basis of the rest of your life. And imagine a doctor you've never met that also holds the pen that writes our future in a 15-minute consultation. You know, and And then there's, as Scott said, the financial gut punch. If you get behind in this process in the guardianship proceeding, you're at the position where you're going to have to shell out tens of thousands of dollars of your own money to hire a private attorney who makes sure your case is fully heard. I mean, that is a crazy system. Who among us wouldn't want the right to cross-examine those with writing life-changing reports about us? And who wouldn't want a real medical evaluation? And wouldn't you want a voice before being yanked out of your home? And wouldn't you want safeguards to protect your life savings and even that personal property?
For over 20 years in this state, we've been carefully evaluating these problems, but we've done absolutely nothing about them.
We are realizing we really need to safeguard vulnerable adults and seniors from bad actors who enact financial abuse and other types of abuse.
Acknowledging that a few bad actors have really done damage to vulnerable adults.
There is no clearinghouse for complaints against guardians. Judges rely on what's called a notice and object system. And what that means is if I don't think the guardian is doing a good job, I can file a petition to challenge them and say, I need another guardian. You could talk to an elder law attorney right now and say, what would it cost me to have you prepare an evidentiary hearing and object to the guardian and either have them removed or have no guardian at all? That's 10 grand up front. And so I hear over and over and over from family members who go, okay, well then how does this stop? Because not only I don't have the money to do that, but even if I did, the guardian is going to have a court-appointed lawyer and the two of them are going to pull the money out of mom's money to fight me. That's how it works. You ask any other probate judge, and if they tell you the truth, they will tell you it is not my responsibility to question those accountings. That's the other party's responsibility. And I said, well, Judge, I'm pretty sure when we passed Epic in 99, they thought that's what you were going to do. Guardianship is a superhighway. Once you get on, there's no off-ramps. There's no way you get out of this until you die.
That the judges know what's going on. Why are we not doing something about these judges?
She's got sepsis and she lost 23 pounds. So you would think an emergency guardianship hearing would have removed my mother from that situation, but it didn't.
Why is she in jail here? Well, she's not literally in jail, but my mom thinks she's in jail because of the way she's been treated. She has stood up in court and she has said, I feel excommunicated by society.
Isolation is the #1 tool these predators use to harm the elderly, the disabled, the vulnerable, and they're used against the families because they separate them from the people that they trust so they can control and manipulate them.
I am not going to be in front of Milton Mack.
Milton Mack? Who's Milton Mack, Lori?
One of the most corrupt retired judges in Wayne County. And now he's being pulled in to take over for Kathleen Ryan. Well, where's Kathleen Ryan going?
In 1978, Michigan Public Act 543 went into effect to set up and organize the court of record, most commonly known as the probate court system, MCL 600.801. The Michigan compiled law 600.803 to create by law this probate court was to provide 8 probate judges for Wayne County, 4 probate judges for Oakland County, and 2 probate judges each for Macomb, Genesee, Monroe, and Washtenaw counties. Many of these judges were first appointed by the governor, and then once elected, many of them never had an opponent on the ballot for the people to choose a different judge to serve. This role as a probate judge is a very important function.
That was about 5 minutes. I got JRL with breaking news from 5 hours ago. So we'll check that out.
Right. Kansas City. Can everyone hear me okay? We have a situation. We have a situation in Kansas City. Hopefully people can see me, maybe not. Let's see if people start piling in to the situation. Come on in. Folks, did some traveling myself. I'm sure a lot of you also are traveling. And we have a situation unfolding right now. Can you hear me? Can I get a mic check? Because I'm looking at the schedule here. We're doing a little bit something different. Back at the JLR Bat Cave here. What's going on? We can hear you. Awesome. All right, folks. So we got a situation going on right now in Kansas City. And also, the FBI has put out an alert talking about increased threats for the new year. A lot of things going on. Great to be back. Got the scanner on. We're doing a little bit different. We don't got the StreamYard on today, so we got to improvise. So what they're saying is in Kansas City, at the airport, it is completely locked down. So I've been getting tagged all over the place. About the situation in Kansas City. They're saying FBI investigates threat at Kansas City International Airport. What we know so far. Now, the FBI has put out an alert saying there's numerous threats around the country going on. Now, keep in mind, 1 year ago, New Year's, right? New Year's. And remember the thing that happened in New Orleans with the ISIS guy, Shamsuddin, plowed his vehicle down Bourbon Street, in that area. And, this is where these times around this country where you got to stay vigilant. One Christmas, thank God there wasn't anything crazy or wild. Hello, William Kaufman. You like the background right there? JLR investigates. We're investigating what's going on. I got a news clip I'm going to share with you. We're going up right here. But it's crazy because this is when the terrorists, the opportunists, the criminals, the wackadoodles.
So that was 5 hours ago.
If you didn't file with us last year, just file with TurboTax Do It Yourself by February 28th. No matter your tax situation, get the TurboTax app now.
You know what was epic? That I had a kid. My wife had a kid. But we together, as a married couple, had a... Oh, that's nice. What's that? Whatever that is, that's weird. Okay, now the teams are all sending in their favorite top 10s. Maybe we can get one. Here we go. Yeah, maybe we can get one by the end. Jerry, your challenge is to get me an epic Trump-themed top 10 by the end of our countdown here. All right. We spent Inauguration Day in the hospital because we were welcoming our fourth child. Ladies and gentlemen, this is baby Whitaker, and he was born on Inauguration Day. He was actually, I think, like the first Trump baby, in fact. So this is a golden era baby, and he's able to. Okay, so so I think he gets one of these Trump accounts. It's pretty awesome. Golden era baby, born literally within the hours of Trump getting sworn in as our president on January 20, 2025. Here you go.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Inauguration Day. The golden era began early for the Johnson family with the arrival of Whitaker Edward Johnson at 4:27 a.m. this morning. My wife and I have been at the hospital and will be here with our brand new baby boy, and we could not be more thrilled. We are joining you in spirit and will be watching along, but the live will be anchored by our trusted team here, and we planned for this possibility, and well, who could have predicted? We became the meme. We became the meme. We had the golden baby, the golden era baby. For our golden baby, baby Whitaker is doing great, by the way. Baby Whitaker just went to the White House for the first time this week. It was awesome. President Trump was sworn in. Here is that moment.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
the office of President of the United States,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Come on, boys. You got Barron Trump talking shit to Joe Biden. I mean, it did happen. This is it. This is Barron Trump going up to Joe Biden, and I think this is dubbed. You can hear like what he says, right? He's like, "Game on, old man." Let's listen. Whoa. I thought that. Oh, no. Okay. I don't think it's dubbed. Okay. So hold on. It was. He goes. Game on. Right, ALX? ALX. You are the Barron Trump expert. And then Melania says, "Be nice" afterwards. Team producers, I'm going to need you to crack on this. Hold on. I saw a dubbed one where like it's Barron Trump coming in and saying to Joe Biden like, "Game on, old man," which is what I think happened. And then Melania scolds him for not being nice. All right. Come on, producers. Whatever. We'll jump back to it. I want the dubbed one where like you could let the lip readers can clearly see what Barron Trump's saying. Barron Trump talking smack to Joe Biden under his breath. Elon Musk not speaking under his breath. Elon Musk's speech totally and completely epic. Right into my veins. Here we go.
Fanatics Casino is giving away 1 million prizes from now to the new year.
Here we go.
Yes! This is what victory feels like. Yeah! And this was no ordinary victory. This was a fork in the road of human civilization. Okay. This you know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured. Thanks to you. We're going to have safe cities, finally, safe cities.
Elon Musk's speech is, come on, you want that energy back. Okay, we have the 18-second clip of the lip reader with Barron Trump saying like what's going on here. Let's listen.
When he leans into Biden here, he says it's on. Okay, and then when he goes up to Melania, she says try to be nice. See, and he says okay, but she doesn't really know what he had said to him. And then he turns back and looks back at Biden.
It's so awesome. Look at this. Look at Biden's face when Barron Trump goes and says it's on. It's so good. All right, whatever, man. It's so awesome. It began immediately with President Trump changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. An epic moment. Here we go.
Flying right over it right now. So we thought this would be appropriate. Even bigger than the Super Bowl. This is a big thing. And almost everybody now has assented to that.
Attention on board. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please direct your attention out the right side of the aircraft. Air Force One is currently in international waters for the first time in history, flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America. Please enjoy the flight, and we are now about to head westbound to Super Bowl 59.
Wow, he did that well.
Wow. He did. So awesome. So President Trump, obviously renaming the Gulf of America. Awesome. This is like, again, a era of American dominance. We are not going to go softly or quietly into the night. We're not going to disappear like every other empire after 250 years. And this is how you continue empire dominance. Also, you tell all your little vassal states that are behaving like little bitches that they need to toughen up. And we're in charge. And that is exactly what they did in their first Zelensky meeting. Here we go.
From the beginning. Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't know
God
that.
bless. You
Don't-
will not
you
have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what I'm not
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You don't
was
have
in-
the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War III. And
We-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
It's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
I'm wearing
they
respect.
should have.
America was back in that moment. And that is our third favorite moment of the top 10. Here we go. The Putin flyover is our fourth. And again, American dominance when President Trump shocked and I think scared just a little bit Putin with a epic flyover here. Let's get some audio. B-2 bombers, F-22 Raptors. Putin like, didn't know. Amazing. President Trump at Alligator Alcatraz. Come on, man. Alligator Alcatraz, Gulf of America, the Putin flyover. We went there actually with President Trump for the first time. Here we go.
Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz. The entrance here is a 30-foot tall wall. None of this was here 5 days ago. It's got razor wire on the top. Just unbelievably impressive what the state of Florida has done here. Over my shoulder is the actual facility. As you can see, we'll be entering soon. This is the entry gate for Alligator Alcatraz.
Okay. It was an amazing event. We got to ask Trump a bunch of questions. It is a nasty place. I've never been bitten by more mosquitoes in my life. There were literally, look at that. You can see like the amount of mosquitoes that were biting and attacking me in this moment. Nasty place to be. This is just like because of the memes, the camel motorcade, the camelcade, one of our favorite things that ever happened, that President Trump got a camel motorcade with a bunch of camels when he was in Qatar. And I think that's freaking awesome. That's President Trump. And here's the camel motorcade that Trump got. Okay? Not particularly like important to American history, or is it the most important thing in American history? I don't know, dude, but I'm telling you that I like the camel motorcade. Trump signing the big, beautiful bill. We've obviously described exactly why this is so critically important and what's going to happen when the big, beautiful bill comes into law on January 1. And then also, you know,
minutes, you guys. I
can't talk
got
about
one
Trump
more
term
10
one
minutes
without talking
deal.
about prices and mass
One more
deportations.
10 minutes.
Mass deportations. Check this out. Negative foreign-born growth in America. Foreign-born population declined by 2.2 million this year. First time in your lifetime or mine. So freaking awesome. Look at that. And this is about to accelerate in the extreme. That is fixing our country. And as we've talked about, the prices of eggs, gas, groceries, these things are starting to collapse and collapse rapidly. You can see here, egg prices. Remember when that was like, everyone was freaking out about egg prices. Look at that. And then, you know, obviously gas prices we've been talking about the entire show. Gas prices, let's go ahead and look here. Average national gas price. You can see the blue is Biden, the red is Trump, and you can see the trends, where the trends are heading. Sweet. And according anecdotally to this audience, the trends are heading like towards the $2 mark virtually everywhere. and then cratering down to the $1 mark, depending on where you're living. So that's awesome. Final thing, the number 10 or number 1 is Charlie Kirk's memorial. I just have one quick thing to say on this. Given the fact that we're strong allies with Charlie, Turning Point, we're heading to Turning Point right after the show, and that we spoke at the memorial. This is the country that I want to live in. At the memorial was the country I want to live in. You can see the crowd. You see the people, millions of people worshiping together in holy Christian harmony and peace, united against evil. And it was in this moment that I think evil decided to try and tear our movement asunder. You've seen, of course, fractures and bad actors and demons, literal demons, like come attack us with every manner of lie, with every manner of like despicable, sick, malicious, defamatory lie and whatever, like attack Turning Point. And we're going to bulldoze them. We are going to bulldoze them directly into the ground. We're not freaking let them do that. We're not freaking let them like take from us what's been built for the kingdom. And so get ready for the fight. America's worth fighting for. Everybody knows that this is the number 1 apostolic event in human history. Billions of people were exposed to this memorial and saw this memorial, given the technological and social media impressions. Hundreds of millions and billions of people saw it, hundreds of thousands in real life here at this beautiful stadium. And so, again, it was our absolute and total honor to speak at this event and to witness at this event. And it is the purpose that we will carry into 2026. Speaking and witnessing and speaking power through the name of Christ Jesus for the salvation of this country. And this is exactly what they want to steal from you. We're not going to let it happen. And we're going to keep fighting. Was that a throw? We're going to keep fighting.
This robotic puppy is so lifelike, it actually fooled my neighbour who's a veterinarian. I've been a grandmother for 15.
Why not? Here's just a little clip.
In Romans 13, the Apostle Paul talks about a godly government instituted by our Lord and Savior. And what does he describe? The Apostle Paul describes how God establishes the rulers of the nations. In the audience right now, there are rulers of our land. Represented right here is the State Department, the Department of War, the Department of Justice, the Chief Executive. God has instituted them. God has given them power over our nation and our land. God saved our president, President Trump, from an assassin's bullet for this moment. And what does the Apostle Paul in Romans say about a godly leadership? He says that rulers wield the sword for the protection of good men and for the terror of evil men. May we pray that our rulers here, rightfully instituted and given power by our God, wield the sword for the terror of evil men in our nation in Charlie's memory.
Okay, we got our last video, you guys, for 10 minutes. Last video, last show of 2025.
Because, Congresswoman, I grew up in Queens, real Queens, not the Instagram version. AOC's face, which had been flushed with performative triumph, suddenly went a shade paler, because that folder, those documents, and the calm fury in a former federal agent's voice, This wasn't going to be another viral moment of her destroying a conservative. This was about to become something very different. Dan Bongino stood, and the room immediately sensed the shift in dynamic. For 20 minutes, had been performing gestures for cameras, voice modulated for viral clips, every word calculated for Twitter. Now she was facing someone who'd spent decades not performing, but executing, not talking about work, but doing it. His voice, when he continued, carried that unmistakable Queen's accent that no amount of media training had polished away. Street smart, direct, real. You questioned my working-class credentials, Congresswoman. Said I don't understand workers. So let me tell you about my background before we discuss yours. He didn't need notes for this part. This was his life. I grew up in Glendale, Queens. My father was a plumber. My mother stayed home, raised me and my brother. We lived paycheck to paycheck. I know what it's like when Dad comes home worried about bills. When Mom's stretching grocery money. When vacation means visiting relatives because you can't afford anything else. The room had gone completely silent. This wasn't performance. This was just truth. I became an NYPD officer because that's what working-class kids from Queens did if they wanted to serve and support a family. Spent years on actual streets, not Twitter streets, actual New York streets, where real crime happens and real people need protection. His voice carried weight that came from experience, not rehearsal. Worked my way to Secret Service. 16 years protecting presidents. Didn't matter if they were Democrat or Republican. Obama, Trump. Did my job with integrity. That's what working-class people do. We work regardless of politics. Bongino pulled out the first document from his folder. After federal service, I built a business from zero. No political connections, no donors, just risk and work. Failed, rebuilt, succeeded. That's the working-class way. We don't quit. He looked directly at AOC. So yes, Congresswoman, I understand workers, because I am one. Always was, always will be. Now let's discuss your working-class credentials. The shift in the room was palpable. AOC's confident posture had stiffened slightly. Her staff stopped typing. This wasn't going according to script. Bongino pulled out a photograph. Large. Color. Unmistakable. AOC at the Met Gala. September 13th, 2021. The Met Gala. His voice remained level, which somehow made it more devastating. Entry ticket $35,000. Your custom dress with Tax the Rich painted on it. Several thousand more. He held the photo up so cameras could see. AOC in flowing white gown posing on red carpet surrounded by celebrities and elite. The image that had defined hypocrisy for millions of Americans. While you claim to represent working-class people in the Bronx and Queens, you attended one of the most elite events in America. An event that costs more than many of your constituents make in a year. Inside AOC's mind, panic was starting to edge through the political confidence. The Met Gala had always been her Achilles heel. She'd tried explaining it away hundreds of times. Borrowed dress, making a statement, bringing the message to the elite. But here in a congressional hearing with a working-class cop holding the photo, all those explanations sounded exactly like what they were excuses. And you didn't go quietly, did you? Bongino continued, prosecutorial precision showing through. You posed for cameras, for Instagram, made sure everyone saw you at this elite event. Because this wasn't about making a statement. This was about the brand, about AOC TM attending the Met Gala, about performance. He pulled out another document. Your apartment in D.C., luxury building in Navy Yard, one of the most expensive neighborhoods. How much is your rent, Congresswoman? More than the Amazon warehouse workers in your district could afford. AOC tried to interrupt. That's personal. You made my business personal. Bongino's voice cut through, still calm, but with steel underneath. Called me a grifter. Questioned my wealth. So let's discuss wealth, Congresswoman. Let's discuss the gap between your socialist rhetoric and your capitalist lifestyle. He was building a case now, piece by piece, the way he'd been trained. Designer clothes, photographed constantly. Professional styling. Your Tesla, how much did that cost? While you're pushing Green New Deal that would eliminate oil jobs, you're driving a $70,000 electric car. The documents kept coming, each one a receipt, each one evidence. Book deals, speaking fees, media appearances. You're not a public servant anymore, Congresswoman. You're a brand. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, TM, the Instagram socialist, making money off the image of fighting for workers while living like an influencer. A man stood in the gallery. Dominican 50s, wearing a small business owner's practical attire. Something in his expression suggested he'd been waiting years to speak. Bongino recognized the moment immediately. Sir, you have something to add. My name is Carlos Mendez. His voice carried the slight accent of first-generation immigrant combined with the exhaustion of someone who'd been fighting just to survive. I owned a deli in Queens, Corona, 3 blocks from where Amazon HQ2 was supposed to be built. He pulled out documents of his own, business records, loan papers, evidence of a dream that had died. When I heard Amazon was coming, I saw opportunity. 25,000 employees. That's people who need lunch, coffee, breakfast. Real opportunity for small business. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from controlled anger that had been building for 3 years. I took out a loan, $50,000, expanded my deli, hired 2 more workers, got ready for Amazon employees, was going to cater to them, feed them, build my business. The room leaned in. This wasn't political theater. This was real pain. Then Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez killed the deal. Carlos's voice broke slightly. Said Amazon was bad for community. Said we didn't need them. Led protests. Made it political. He looked directly at AOC, and the hurt in his eyes was devastating. We needed those jobs, Congresswoman. I needed those customers. Now I'm in debt from expansion that didn't happen. Had to let workers go, people with families. Barely keeping business alive. His voice rose with working-class fury. While you do photo shoots and podcasts and Met galas. While you become celebrity. While you build your brand. I'm struggling to survive because you decided you knew what was best for my community. Carlos sat down. And the silence that followed wasn't just quiet. It was the sound of performative politics meeting actual consequences. Of Instagram socialism meeting real working-class pain. Another person stood. Young black woman, early 30s, single mother's exhaustion visible in her posture. Ma'am, please. Bongino gestured for her to speak. My name is Keisha Williams. Her voice shook, but grew stronger with each word. I was going to work for Amazon, had interviews scheduled, customer service position, $65,000 a year. She held up papers, job posting, interview confirmation, dreams documented in email form. That job was going to change my life. Cop who knew exactly how to present a case. Because
Okay. That was way to end last video and show for our fifth consecutive, or I believe it's 5 years. I don't know if it's 4 years or 5. I thought it was 2020 when I started. 5 years and counting, and don't know when to stop. I don't think we're never going to stop because we are the news now. So, everybody, that's what a blessed year we have. We lost quite a few people. We'll just keep the prayers in their families from all the people that we lost. And thanks for all the support. Like I said earlier, donations and all the mods that helped me and sponsors. Okay, with Michelle, the last 2 mods I got. Michelle, love ya. Okay. So till we start a new year tomorrow, show will be at 5. And we'll see if this is going to be our year this year. Hopefully something good will happen for everybody. Have a safe evening tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Stay safe, or God bless. Remember, please hit the like. Not many people are going to the description box, you guys. You gotta sub over to the backup channels. And stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith. And one most important thing what Mr. T told us is never give up. Signing off. Chico News for our 5th year in a row. 5 years counting. Thank you, everyone. God bless everybody. Love all. We'll see you tomorrow, New Year.